Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Plaid Couch Ranked. Today, we're going through Marvel and DC movies up to a certain point. It looks like Ant-Man Quantumanium may be the oldest one on there. Jaylene will correct me if I'm wrong. We'll just go in the order. They have them in here, but to go over the tiers, we have GOAT, so this would normally be the S tier. Great, not quite that GOAT status, but it's up there. Good, average, bad, forgettable, the worst. And we have not seen every movie on this list, so if that is the case, we'll put it in the haven't seen category yet.
Unless we really are feeling mean, then we'll just say it sucks.
First up, Ant-Man.
This is good for me. Is there one above good? Great? I don't think it's great.
This may go down to average for me, depending on what all gets thrown where.
All right.
It was enjoyable, but the more I think about it, it was just
it's a little generic.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
It's just a solid A to B movie.
I think I would like it so much if Paul Rudd wasn't in it.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd's just so likable.
Yeah, he does a great job as the Ant-Man. Quantumania.
I haven't seen this.
I have not either. I'm a bit behind.
I will say I love the MCU, but I definitely fell off after Phase 1 ended. Not Phase 1, excuse me.
See, I almost made that mistake, but I was like, no, it's technically not Phase 1 because...
So the Infinity Saga, I was obsessed with, and then after that, I kind of fell off. So
yeah, it's kind of been a superhero burnout for me, which is strange for me to say. I am a huge superhero nerd.
Couldn't be me.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I haven't seen this.
I'm gonna put it in. Oh, come on, you dumb mouse.
Oh, wait, yeah, I have, because this came out before. Yeah, I saw this.
I think it's bad.
I don't remember this movie, apparently. Oh, this is the one where they find Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
It
came at a weird time.
Yeah.
Because it was right in between Infinity War and Endgame, which it makes sense that it had to be there, but I felt like nobody cared because everybody wanted Endgame.
Yeah.
And then you came out with a movie that just wasn't really that important.
Yeah.
I mean, it was important, but the important part happened in the end credit scene.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be fine putting that in forgettable, honestly. I just don't think the movie's that necessary.
Well, bad won't be lonely for long because Aquaman.
Okay.
And this is why Ant-Man may get moved down to average for me. Aquaman kind of does the same stuff, but it's just more bleh.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of DC's recent stuff. I haven't seen everything.
Actually, can you go back up? Move Ant-Man to average.
Yep.
And I'll let you know why here in a minute.
Avengers: Age of Ultron.
That's a good movie. It's better than Ant-Man to me.
I still think it's average.
Well, you don't have to be so smug about it.
Compared to the other Avenger films, it's definitely the one that.
But the Avengers films are really good.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's good. It's a good movie. I think the only the biggest point against it is that it's not as good as the other Avengers movies.
Yeah.
There are valid criticisms of it, but every time, because I did not like Age of Ultron when it came out, and upon my first few rewatches, I didn't really like it. The more I watch Age of Ultron, the more I like it.
Jaylene, that's Stockholm Syndrome.
Shut up. I like that movie, and James Spader does a perfect job as Ultron.
Yeah, he does an amazing job.
Oh my god.
Endgame?
Endgame is great to me.
It's good to me. But I think that's because Infinity War is so... I'll put it in great for now. But Infinity War was such a good movie, in my opinion, where...
That's why we're putting Infinity War in the GOAT tier.
Yeah.
We would just want to put those together because they go hand in hand. Infinity War was a perfect movie. It does, that build-up, it was executed perfectly in Infinity War.
I like that Thanos wins, so
Yeah.
You know, it adds to the suspense of Endgame. I understand Endgame is just tying up all those ends and trying to end the Infinity Saga in a good way, but it was a paint by numbers movie.
Okay.
I know you cried in it, but
Oh, we didn't have to bring that up. I just feel like, and I should bring up the fact that Iron Man is my favorite
yeah.
superhero, and I love the whole Tony Stark line.
Mhm.
It ends Tony Stark's arc perfectly, I think. Endgame
Yeah.
does. That is why I would put it in great. Like if you parallel that movie with the first Iron Man, it's just
Does it move down now that Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom?
it depends how they're gonna do it. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck Marvel's doing anymore. They're starting to really just confuse me.
Batman
Which
Begins,
is this?
the first of Christopher Nolan's.
I haven't seen it.
I think it's a good one.
Okay.
Um,
I'll let you take the reign on all the DC
Yeah.
pretty much. I'll be no help.
it's a decent Batman film. It builds up the type of universe Christopher Nolan is going to do for that franchise. I got to sneeze. Nope.
You scared it. It got
Um,
shy.
But this is also in 2005. So,
Trilogy's that old?
yeah.
God damn. Okay.
Yeah, 2005. So it was around that time where, you know, Spider-Man 3 was coming out. Fantastic Four was around, X-Men, and it just kind of carved its own path. So it,
Will say, like, I think I'm not that experienced with because this is the Dark Knight trilogy, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure I was thinking the right thing before I just started
Yeah.
spitting out bullshit.
because it's weird because it's Batman Begins, then it's The Dark Knight, and then The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay, yeah. But I think that trilogy really, because not that superhero movies were necessarily bad before that. I think that showed that superhero movies could be great.
Yeah,
And, like,
I
be
think it's
considered like classics.
I think it showed that you don't need to follow the comics
To a T.
point by point. You can put the hero in a good story first, and then build around it with the characters.
Yeah. So I will give it that, but I don't think I've seen the. I know I haven't seen the whole trilogy.
Batman versus Superman. God, is it?
I'll let you take the reign on this one.
It's.
I was almost thinking forgettable. I wouldn't put it the worst.
It doesn't deserve the worst, but
Yeah.
it is really bad. Especially the reason Batman and Superman decide to team up.
Oh, it's a
Martha.
Martha. How do you know that name? What,
God.
a generic woman's name?
And I will say this: I think DC has been very hit or miss with their castings. I liked Batfleck. Henry Cavill as Superman was great. Gal Gadot.
This movie's great.
Yeah.
Isn't the Lex Luthor in this movie? I thought was really good too.
Oh, Jesse Eisenberg.
I thought he did.
No,
Is that a hot take?
to me, ugh.
I don't know really anything about DC Comics though, so
No,
I don't know. What
he was more of like a Riddler type.
is he not supposed to be then?
No, he's
Okay.
he's supposed to be like stoic and
Oh well, then yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just thought he did a good job.
Well,
in the movie.
some of the older comics had him that way, but I grew up on like the Batman and super animated TV shows.
Okay.
And he was very like evil Bruce Wayne in that sense, where you know he was very powerful and had political influence.
See, I didn't really get that from that movie. I don't
Yeah.
really know much about like
Yeah.
DC. Should we preface this before we get any further about this, about like our background with comics and
Sure.
superheroes? Because ours are very different.
Yeah.
Because like you just said, you like grew up with comics and
Yeah.
stuff. I hate admitting this. I didn't get into like any superhero stuff until the MCU
Yeah.
started. I was on a family vacation with my cousins, and it was like a lake vacation, so we'd be out in the lake all day, and then we would come in the cabin and watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And one night they were like, "We're just gonna watch Iron Man, like put it on." And I was like, "I don't want to watch Iron Man because I didn't like superhero
Yeah.
movies. I did not like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy that I got forced to watch. I did not care." So then I sat and I watched fucking Iron Man, and I didn't want to, and I fell in love with that movie. And it's one of my favorite Marvel movies of all time.
I'll get more into detail on mine, but growing up, Spider-Man was the big one for me. I loved watching that cartoon growing up. I would go to our public library and get comics from there.
Oh shit! I didn't know you did that.
Yeah.
That's sick.
When I could during the summer. Yeah, so that's where I'd get pretty much all my comics. It was that or like Star Wars comics and all that. But superhero stuff was always interesting to me growing up. You know, X-Men, Spider-Man. I'll talk more about those once we get to them.
I just wanted to include that context of what angle we're coming at it, because I was mostly just into the films and in particular the MCU. I've read some comics, but it was definitely later in my life.
And I also grew up. And this is why I have nostalgia for Batman and Robin, because that was like one of the films on repeat when I was very young.
It's why I have a fondness for Episode 3 of Star Wars. It was the movie that was always in the car.
Back to this ranking though, Big Hero 6. I think that's
I'd put it in good.
Yeah.
I feel weird putting it next to Batman Begins. It's a really good movie.
I would put it above. I really enjoyed it. It's one I've only seen once, but
it doesn't get enough credit. I think it's just a really fun animated movie, and it's got a great story too. Haven't seen
Birds of Prey. It's bad.
Okay.
It's bad. I will say it's more enjoyable than the Suicide Squad, which I'll get to that one. But it's already like dug itself a hole with this franchise, and it doesn't do the best digging itself out of.
Which sucks because Margot Robbie is such a great actress.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to a lot of the casting choices are on point.
DC does great with casting.
Besides Jared Leto as Joker.
I kind of straight up forgot he was Joker.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay.
But that's where I'm like, it's like they either nail it on the head or they're in a completely different area code. Like even Will Smith as Deadshot, I was like,
that was great.
I see it, but my big worry was like, he's a big name movie star.
Yeah. And look what happened.
Yeah. And speaking of which,
speaking of big name movie stars,
Black Adam, haven't seen it.
I haven't seen, but can we just put it in bed? I heard it's not good.
Yeah, I heard it's tough.
Yeah. I feel bad too because I follow The Rock on Instagram and he promoted the fuck out of that movie, and it just.
Well, yeah. If I remember correctly, he was like set to get a big stake from DC if Black Adam did well. So,
oops.
Wakanda Forever.
Haven't seen.
I have not either. I think that's more of just I was like, it's gonna be tough watching that without Chadwick Boseman in it.
I also will peel back the curtain a little bit. The celebrity death in my lifetime that hit me the hardest has been Chadwick Boseman. I cannot it's hard to think about. And also the actress who plays Shuri isn't like that great of a person, which I don't think we should dictate these based on like how the people are. But it's hard to go from someone who like did so good in that role and just was just like a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed like a really good person, and then to like now Shuri's gonna be Black Panther, which fine, whatever. I got no problem with that. But it's like Shuri was like, that's not her name. I'm sorry, I don't know the actress's name, but like she was going through some like I don't know drama at the time. I don't know. R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. That sucks.
Is the first Black Panther movie great or GOAT? I think the only thing preventing it from the GOAT status is that some of that like effects are really janky.
That end scene with Killmonger and Black Panther is hard to watch.
Yeah, it takes me out of it.
I would put it there for that reason. It's almost GOAT status because Kendrick Lamar's on the soundtrack. But no, it really, that's one where I didn't think that late in a superhero game you could repave the way, and that movie did.
Yeah.
Like, it really did, I think, change the course of superhero movies a little bit.
Black Widow.
I think forgettable.
Yeah. I think it's...
I don't think it does... It's not good. I wouldn't consider it even a bad movie. It's just like it doesn't do anything. It doesn't
they threw it on Disney Plus. We even had a watch party at your
around the pandemic. Too.
You had a watch party.
Because I love Scarlett Johansson.
And I forgot it pretty much right after it was done.
And it just didn't need to be done.
Mhm.
I get that they kind of set up what's her name? I'm bad with character names anymore. But
Florence Pugh's character.
yeah, which again, she's great. I
Mhm.
love her as an actress, but I don't know, it just feels very unnecessary. And I feel bad for Scarlett Johansson because I feel like with her being the first woman in the MCU, she kind of got shit on.
Yeah.
And then they threw this movie at her, and then yeah. Sorry, ScarJo.
The Blade. So
I haven't seen any of these, but I think Burger I would put them all in S tier from what I've heard, or goat tier. I'll let you put them wherever you want.
Blade 1 and 2, I enjoy it. Now, it's been quite a while since I've watched them. But I'll put Blade. I may be getting them mixed together. But I think Blade 2's the worst of the two. And then Blade Trinity, it's forgettable. And that one was kind of tough because a lot of studio interference with it. Wesley Snipes did not want to be there. He was making it tough on a lot of people there. Not his fault because he was so passionate about this project and they kind of blindsided him. But it made it tough for him and his co-stars Ryan Reynolds and the other people on there.
Didn't even know Ryan Reynolds was in the movie.
Yeah. Blue Beetle,
haven't seen
I
it.
have not seen. I wanted to, but it just kind of came.
Also, after this, we're gonna sit and watch all the ones we haven't seen. Have a movie marathon.
Eesh.
Already, what a lineup.
Civil War.
Goat tier.
Yep.
That's my favorite MCU movie.
It-
It never gets old.
I'll put it above Infinity War.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, those two are really good for me.
That's one that I one night got like a little drunk and I got dropped off at home and I was watching that movie and I kept drunk Snapchatting my mom of me quoting it. She goes, "I get it. You can quote the whole movie." It's so good. Please watch Civil War, even if you have. I'm gonna go home and rewatch it.
The first Avenger.
Wait a minute. We're not going to talk more about why Civil War is so good. We can't just put it in the GOAT tier and not talk about it. Come on, you're giving me nothing to work with.
I mean, it's good. It sets up a lot of the future of it. The only thing I will say is it's one, I don't like that it's a Captain America movie. I think it should have just been Avengers Civil War or something like that.
Well, that's because it's from the comic Captain
Yeah.
America Civil War.
I know. Though,
I
but
love how comic booky we both just got. Where I got so defensive and you're like, I know.
but oh, what was my thought?
I don't know. It's just so good. It's all I can say. It's so good, and I didn't want to just brush past it
Yeah.
because it really everything that I love about the MCU is in that movie.
Yeah.
I love how much conflict there is in it, but also like I love the end resolution where Tony Stark and Steve Rogers still have respect for one another. And it sets up the rest of the MCU. Just
And I
perfectly.
will say, I don't know if you read the Civil War comic book at all.
I read a synopsis of it.
This is one of those where the movie takes
A lot of liberties.
a lot of liberties, and I think for the better.
It's kind of a mess.
Yeah, that's one of those that they were just kind of going on with, and it just, I'm sure they had a different layout from the start, but it just kind of veered and went on for a little too long.
But yeah, I think out of all these, I already know out of all these, that's gonna be my favorite. Spoiler alert, because I know it's not gonna be a DC movie that I like more than that. And it's my favorite MCU movie.
It's definitely one of my favorite.
I can almost guess what you would put above that.
We can talk about it.
Okay, I think I know. It
The
better not be Batman and Robin.
that one's not on here.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just like the
most recent ones.
yeah from the because I think Blade came out in like '98.
Okay.
Captain America: The First Avenger.
This one's fine.
I think it's average. I don't think it's as good as Age of Ultron.
Okay. That's fine.
But I don't know if you know this. The director of that also directed Jurassic Park 3.
Oh shit. Okay, I did not know that.
Winter Soldier, great.
Is one of my favorite Marvel movies. That was also the introduction of the Russo brothers in the
Yes.
MCU, and they did so good that they ended up getting Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, I could see an argument for GOAT. It is a very good movie, but for now, I think great is the spot to put it.
Okay. I'm just now thinking of what am I going to use my pick for to move spots up, and I don't know if I'm going to use it for that or Age of Ultron yet, but that's fine. We'll get into that later.
Captain Marvel.
Forgettable. I hate to see it, but she was just a forgettable movie.
Catwoman.
I did see it.
So bad. It is so bad.
What's this next one?
Constantine.
Oh shit! Good thing Matthew's not here.
Yeah,
I
honestly,
haven't seen it.
I'll put it in average.
Okay.
It was one of those where, with all the comic book movies that came out around that time, like Spider-Man, X-Men.
Oh, it was that era. Okay.
Yeah.
That was like, when did that come out?
Because it was Keanu Reeves as Constantine, and Shia LaBeouf was his taxi sidekick.
Okay.
I think it's starting to get a lot more love. Now that's probably nostalgia talking for a lot of people, especially with Keanu Reeves being the greatest person alive. I mean, you've seen all those like kindness things where it's just like, dude, he's too nice.
He's hiding something. Am I the only one who gets that vibe? Nothing against Keanu Reeves, but
Yeah, you're the only one. He's an angel.
okay.
But yeah, it was just kind of one of those weird ones where it's like, I understand this is a comic book character, but why this one? Especially at this time.
I've not seen it. I've got no input here.
Daredevil.
I always forget that's a movie. I didn't see it.
It's bad.
Too bad the show's not on here. The show's great.
The show's great. And there are some moments in that movie where it's like, all right, yeah. But there's just so much like city shots and different things like that where it beats a man down. X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Haven't seen, heard it's bad.
It is very bad.
Oh shit. Okay.
You've seen The Last Stand, right?
See, this is where I'm gonna need your help because I think I've seen like the majority of the X-Men movies. I get them mixed up in my head. Last Stand sounds familiar. I'm sure I've seen it.
It's the one where Jean Grey turns evil.
Okay. Yep.
So that's the same exact storyline,
Okay.
but it's worse.
Okay. I gotcha.
League of Super Pets, didn't see.
Seeing it, we'll add it to the list.
I'm sure it's a fun.
It's just a fun like family movie.
Yeah. Deadpool 2.
Hot take, forgettable.
I think it's just average. I would put it right there. It's fine. I watched it recently and I was like, yeah.
I don't think it really does much of anything. You know?
Yeah.
We can put an average, that's fine. People love Deadpool, but
Well, and here comes my second hot take. I think Deadpool 1 is just above it.
see, what I was gonna say is I think Deadpool 2 should be forgettable because I think Deadpool's average.
I think they're right on par with each other.
Okay, that's fine. If you want to put it there.
I watched them both recently. I was
Why do you feel like Deadpool's great? Because then we would have had a problem.
no. I mean, those movies. I respect the steps Ryan Reynolds took to get those made.
I have a hard time with Age of Ultron being in the same tier as Deadpool 1 and 2. That's really starting to irk me.
Oh, well, too fucking bad.
Really, that's really getting on my last nerve.
We can change it at the end.
Okay.
But Deadpool fans are the worst.
Yeah, and Matthew's a big Deadpool fan.
But
We can include them.
they're
I know what you mean. That certain sector of Deadpool fans.
yes, where it's just like, oh, he's the funniest character ever. It's like, no.
I also don't really like Ryan Reynolds that much.
I think he was built to be Deadpool.
He's a good Deadpool, but it's like I'm sick of seeing Deadpool in every movie.
Yeah,
It's got the Chris Pratt effect on me.
which is completely fair.
What's that?
Doctor Strange.
I like Doctor Strange.
I
would put it in good.
I would also put it in good.
I think it's one that I don't think it's got like a very good rewatch value, but I think it's okay.
I think it surprised me on how good it was, because Doctor Strange, I'm not a big magic fan,
Yeah.
like, and that stuff. Especially, people have tried to get me to watch Doctor Who and Harry Potter. I've seen all of them. Couldn't tell you a lick of sense that happened in them. But the reason is, I feel like magic has a lot of cop out things. It's like, oh, I'll just use this spell.
And they don't do that in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I also think he was a good fit for the MCU. He
Mhm.
came at just the right
Yeah.
time. And
Things were starting to get a little weird, but
Benedict Cumberbatch fits that role
Mhm.
perfectly.
Multiverse of Madness.
I think forgettable. We saw that in theaters. And
Yeah.
the thing I really have, and this is sort of goes to my whole gripe about the MCU right now. My least favorite thing about that movie in particular is like you had to watch WandaVision to really know what was going on, which I had. WandaVision, I loved it. It's probably still my favorite of the shows that have come out. It's between that and Loki. But even as someone who watched it, because I watched it with you guys who hadn't seen WandaVision, and you were like, I remember afterward, you're like, yeah, I figured that was stuff that they brought up in WandaVision. But it's like, to really get what they want you to get out of that, you have to see all that. And I don't like the MCU for that fact. I think you should have the MCU. If you want to throw in nods to other things, that's fine. Or like Infinity War and Endgame. I get it. You have to watch the build up for those. That I understand. You should not have to watch a 10-episode series to then enjoy the full movie in the theater.
Yeah.
I think a good example of that is in WandaVision, the very first scene. What's his name? I never remember the character's name. He's like one of the agents or something. He's in Ant-Man, both Ant-Man movies. But in the first Ant-Man, Paul Rudd's doing the card tricks. Yeah. And he goes, oh, that's cool. I want to learn that. And in WandaVision, his first scene, he's like walking into this place and he does the card trick. And I'm like, that's cool. Because you don't have to watch Ant-Man to get that. Like, that would just be one of those, oh, he's just doing a card thing. I think that connection I like. I don't want to have to watch every single Marvel thing that ever comes out to enjoy a movie. That's my mini rant. Yeah.
Well, it was one thing, because at first it was just, oh, you had to watch this movie or that movie to kind of understand where it's going.
People only have so much time.
But yeah, adding all the TV shows and miniseries and spin-offs,
especially when they're pumping so many out.
Yeah.
Like, it used to just be like 2 movies a year. That's all you got to keep up with.
Electra.
I haven't seen this.
Forgettable.
Okay.
It was the spin-off to Daredevil.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's just one of those, rightfully so, forgotten for the best. Eternals.
Forgettable.
Bottom of it, because I never watched it.
I would put it after Batman v Superman. I haven't seen Electra, but I didn't hate Eternals. A lot of people shit on that movie. It wasn't bad. It just doesn't really do much. And like I said, I'm still behind the MCU. I don't know if it sets anything up or anything. I just like, it was whatever to me.
All right.
This is when my hot takes come in.
The first Fantastic Four.
Not Silver Surfer. I love this movie, and I rewatch it a lot.
I think it's average.
Then we have to bump up Age of Ultron if we're going to put it there. I know you don't want to. Thank you.
For now. Oops.
Oh. Age of Ultron's a good movie, okay?
Oh, not there.
I love that Fantastic Four movie. It's so good.
It's so campy and kind of fits that comic book mold.
It's almost self-aware.
Yes.
You don't think it was trying to be? It's really hard for me to tell if it was or not, but it just works. It's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
You can't be in a bad mood watching Fantastic Four.
Rise of the Silver Surfer. I think it's below that one.
That's fine. I'm okay with that. I would still put it in average. I'll tell you what, I'm rewatching both Fantastic Four movies before I watch a Deadpool movie again. But that's just me.
There.
Okay, that's fine. I can live with that. We're putting that in the worst or forgettable? Because it's kind of both.
I hated it so much.
I feel like you hate this movie more than I hated it, and I hated this movie.
It was so bad. And I know there was a lot of production issues with it, but took the worst aspects of a superhero movie.
Yeah. It didn't even feel like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
It just felt like just some generic superhero movie.
Which upsets me because the director, again, a lot of production issues. He made Chronicle, which is probably one of the more fun and entertaining found footage movies because it's based around superheroes. And it's when he was announced, I was like, okay, yeah, he would do a very good Fantastic Four, because those characters were kind of built in that world for Chronicle. But seeing the end results, it's just boring, forgettable, and the first act is so long, and then it just like skips through the last
like
two.
2/3 of the movie, they get superpowers.
Yeah.
Like it just takes forever just to get superpowers.
And then once they do, it's
superhero
like
movie.
all Doctor Doom's on the loose, and it's like, what?
Yeah. It just, I don't know. I'm excited to see what the Russo brothers do with Fantastic Four. I hope we get a Fantastic Four movie that's good and like really just has the heart of those characters, because we have yet to have that.
Yeah. Ghost Rider. I'm gonna put this in bad, but it's kind of fun.
I've not seen Ghost Rider, and I want to see it.
It's definitely a product of its time, but it's one of those you kind of enjoy.
I love Nick Cage, so I might go home and watch Ghost Rider.
And then Spirit of Vengeance, I will put in forgettable. It's really bad. Really bad. It could almost be in the worst category.
Okay, so don't watch that one.
The one reason it's not for me is the opening like sequence is Nick Cage talking about the devil, and the devil takes different forms over the years.
I think I've seen a clip of
And
that.
it's showing like Hitler and a bunch, and then it's just Jerry Springer.
I've seen clips of that somewhere.
And it's just like, wait.
Those two things are definitely comparable.
And because of that, it could be argued for GOAT status.
Just for that scene alone. Okay.
But the rest of the movie is really bad.
I haven't seen this, but I'm gonna guess that it's either forgettable or the worst.
Yeah, I think it's just
Okay.
they were trying to make it easy doing CGI stuff, and the writing was bland and
That was that era of superhero movie where everything was just like
CGI. Yeah, meh. We're not gonna be Batman, so meh. Guardians 1.
I love the first Guardians
I
movie.
think it's GOAT.
This changed superhero movies.
I don't think it's
No,
These
it
are-
doesn't
but-
touch those two, I don't think.
but it is very good, and I think that's because expectations were so low because
Everybody was like, what the fuck is this?
yeah.
Yeah. And then it's so good. The soundtrack ties into
Mhm.
the movie so well. This was like prime Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Like this is when people were starting to notice him and being like, oh shit. I love everything about the movie. The casting's great. It's hard for me watching that movie because I don't really like Chris Pratt anymore. I adore him in that
Yeah.
movie. He is Peter Quill. Like he was born to play Peter Quill.
Yes.
So just fantastic.
Guardians 2.
A lot of people like this movie. I wasn't really a big fan.
I think it's good.
It's not bad. It's it's not anything near the first one.
Yeah. I would put it yeah.
I know you don't want Age of Ultron up there, but
I'll leave it
Okay.
there for now.
I think Age of Ultron's better than Guardians too.
Well,
That's how we have
yeah.
it. That's what I'm explaining to you. That it's fine.
Guardians Volume 3.
I haven't seen it. Heard it's good. That was the one about Rocket.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet either. That's on my to watch actually tonight. Because I think it's on Disney Plus now.
Yeah, it should be.
The Incredible Hulk.
I don't hate this movie. It's not great.
I think it's,
That's fine.
well, I was gonna put it top of bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think we can put it at forgettable because it started in the MCU.
Well,
Kind of.
no, that's not the one. That's the one before.
Yeah, that movie sucks. Fuck that. No.
I will say it tried doing the comic book thing because a lot of the like
So that's
changes.
not the Edward Norton one.
No.
Okay, I thought that's the one we were working with. Because
No.
I don't really like that movie, but it's not terrible.
Yeah. This one, it was trying some
I
things.
don't think I've seen this one then.
Oh, you're gonna have to watch it.
Add it to my list.
Iron Man 1.
Hot take. This one's a GOAT tier for me.
I think it's great.
That's fine. You don't have to put it up there. It's just like
Uh,
This is what made me not only love superhero movies, but just like
Yeah.
Marvel in general.
Amazing first step, but there were a lot of great movies afterwards.
And just like, I don't think the MCU would have turned into what it was if it wasn't for Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Like I said that Chris Pratt was born to play Peter Quill. Robert Downey Jr. just is Tony Stark. Even if you read like the original like Iron Man comics, it's just like that's Robert Downey Jr. that they drew.
Now to Iron Man 2.
I don't hate Iron Man 2.
I think it's average.
That's fine. Yeah.
I'll put it there.
It's just a fun movie if you like Iron Man.
Iron Man 3. I think this one's bad.
I will admit, I don't think I would like this as much if I didn't like Iron Man so much. I probably wouldn't put it in bad, but I won't argue that it can be there.
To me, it was just...
I will say it doesn't feel like an Iron Man movie.
No, it's just bad.
Okay.
That's all I can say. You know, it's not forgettable or the worst. It's just one of those where I was feeling a little bit of superhero fatigue and seeing a lot of the stuff that came out around this time. It just underwhelming. Joker?
Goat tier.
Really?
I love that movie.
Oh no,
and I hate to be one of those people.
You're an incel.
It was really good. I don't even really like the DC movies that much. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Okay. It was just really well done. I went into that movie knowing that people said it was good, and like I still am amazed of like how good it really was. I hate to admit that on the internet because I don't want to be one of those people.
You don't want to feed the incels?
No, but it was just a very good movie.
Jaylene, did you know we live in a society?
Shut up. I'm going to regret putting that there. You agree with me, though? That's just...
Yeah, it's good.
It's very good. Especially at a time where, again, this was like post like Infinity Saga.
Yeah.
So it's like we were starting to get superhero fatigue, and that was just kind of a breath of fresh air. Jesus Christ.
Jonah Hex. Josh Brolin. First stab. Well, one of his stabs as a comic book character. It's a DC like cowboy type one.
Oh shit! Okay.
But again, it came out after Constantine, but around that same time where they were picking the weird comic book characters for some reason instead of being like, why not this character or that one? I think it was just before Green Lantern 2. Justice League.
Is this the Snyder Cut or just a regular Justice League?
Either way.
I haven't seen either.
I'll put in bad.
Okay. That's fine. I don't really care. I haven't seen it. Put it after Black Adam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Logan, GOAT.
That's a GOAT movie, yeah.
I'm not a big X-Men fan, but I watched this last night.
Can I say something crazy?
Put it higher?
I would put it right under Civil War. And I love Infinity War.
I am perfectly... I did that to please you.
Yeah, no, Logan's great.
It's so good.
My heart wants to put Infinity War second, but if I'm being honest, it's better.
Yes. Logan, it may be one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. It
doesn't feel like a superhero movie. That's why it's so good.
Yes. It's like, oh yeah, that's Wolverine.
Yeah. It's just it just rips your heart out. Oh.
But again, it goes to that, get that good story planted first, build around that, and then insert Wolverine into it and adding those pieces afterwards.
I can't put it in good conscience above Civil War because Civil War is just, I think, perfect superhero movie. But Logan's just a perfect movie.
Man of Steel.
I feel like I'm gonna have a hot take for this one. I'll let you place it, and then I'll see what I agree with.
I would put it above Iron Man 3.
I think it's an average.
I almost put it in average.
I liked Man of Steel when it came out, and not even just liked it. I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
I will say the majority of the reason I liked it is just because Henry Cavill is perfect Superman.
Yes, he is.
And they fucked up with what they did to him. My least favorite part of that movie, I fucking hate Kevin Costner in that movie as Superman's dad.
God, Berg and I always quoting that. Just no, Don't.
It's like you have time to move, guys.
And because of that, I got in not an argument, but my mom was like, Kevin Costner's so good. I was like, no.
Why do all moms love Kevin Costner?
Even my brother started chiming. I went, no, because he will forever be remembered for this line, and it's awful.
My mom gets so pissed because me and Brady.
It's because Dances with Wolves came out.
Yeah, my mom fucking loves Kevin Costner, man. I'm like, no, fuck that. He's awful in that movie.
But yeah, again, it goes. Henry Cavill looks wise, the best Superman.
Oh my god, yeah.
I
just wish Man of Steel was better.
Yes.
It had so much potential to be a good Superman movie.
And honestly, Zack Snyder sucks.
As a person or as a director?
Director.
Okay.
I know he was going for, The Dark Knight and all that was trying to make it realistic. Superman would kill. My big thing on comic book movies is there should be some realism, but there's superheroes. Yes, movies. All right. And Batman would kill, Superman would kill. The thing is, these characters are supposed to be like the best of us.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for them not to want to kill.
They'll have they have better morals.
Yes, they are trying to show what the best of people can be, and I think that adds an element to it because it's like, oh yeah, they could kill and save the city and do all that really easy, but they're challenging themselves to not only better their city but better the villains. Right. Morbius.
Haven't seen it. It's Morbin time.
Warzone.
What the fuck is this?
Punisher. It's forgettable.
Okay.
Yeah. It was technically a sequel to the 2004 Thomas Jane Punisher movie, which I love. But it was like turn the story down to a 1, the gore up to 20. So it was just blood and guts everywhere. Which, as a kid, you're like, hell yeah. I can't believe I'm allowed to watch this.
We were different as kids because I'd been like, ooh.
Shang-Chi.
I really liked Shang-Chi. Now, I haven't seen it since it's been in theaters, but this one surprised me how much I liked it.
Would you put it in good or great?
Probably just at the bottom of good.
Bottom of good?
Yeah. Yeah, I put it above Volume 2, but I like Age of Ultron better. That's probably just my bias coming in, but I like...
You're just trying to push that one up good more, so I can't move it down. Shazam.
Haven't seen.
I thought it was all right. It kind of surprised me with how good it was.
Okay.
But it was still just kind of meh.
Is it just like a fun movie?
Yeah.
Did they make a sequel to Shazam?
Yeah. No one watched it.
Okay.
Spider-Man. We'll go into the Spider-Verse first.
So this is the first Spider-Verse movie?
Yes.
Okay. Hot take, haven't seen it.
Oh my god, it's
I
so
heard
good. It's so good.
I've seen bits and pieces, and the bits and pieces I've seen have been amazing. I'm fine with that. I heard it's good.
I have not seen Across the Spider-Verse yet,
I heard
though.
that's good too.
So have I.
We'll put it at the top there.
If it lets me.
Okay.
All right. Now
what Spider-Man trilogy do we want to do first? And I know the one's not technically trilogy. Do we want to go in order?
Yeah.
Because I have things to say.
Spider-Man 1, average.
You put those anywhere, but keep them below good. I don't want anyone crossing average.
And here's what I'll say about Spider-Man. I love the cartoon so much. When I saw they were releasing a live action one, I was like, no, I'm not watching it. I refuse.
Wait, really?
I refuse.
You were like a kid too.
Yeah, I was like, no. My mom took me and my brother to go. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna hate it. It's how can they do this? Because the cartoon's so good. And then I went to watch it. I was like, those sons of bitches pulled it off.
I love the fact because We were young when those movies came out.
Yeah, it came out in 2002.
I love the thought of you had been how old? Like 7 years old?
Yeah.
Like 7-year-old Tegan being like, nope, cartoon's as best as it's gonna get.
I was like, how can they do this?
That's so funny. Okay.
I
And then you leave it, it's like, holy shit.
I will say Spider-Man 2. I know you said you didn't want any in good, but it is good. It is. I'll put it under Doctor Strange, but it elevates Spider-Man 1 more.
Okay.
Um,
If you say so. I don't really remember Spider-Man 2. I remember the first Spider-Man from that trilogy.
and
I
then,
remember Spider-Man 3.
I'll put it
That's fine.
right
We'll
at
put
the
those
same.
together.
Yeah. There are some great moments in Spider-Man 3, but
And
then
that's the one where they're passing him through the train?
Yeah.
He's injured. That's a great scene.
no, that's Spider-Man 2. There's a train scene in Spider-Man 3
Okay.
where he's fighting Sandman.
I've seen Spider-Man 2 because that scene is probably my favorite of the whole
Yeah.
trilogy. Like it really just
Yeah.
it tugs at your heartstrings.
But Spider-Man 3, there are some really good scenes, and then there's just some that you go, huh? What? Emo Peter Parker?
Just saw it. We'll have to find the picture of Burguy, that mirror selfie he had on his Instagram.
We'll go with The Amazing Spider-Man now.
Okay. I remember watching this. I can't tell you what happened in it. It was okay.
Yeah, average.
Yeah. I remember at the time liking it better than Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
This one I haven't seen. This is the one where what's-her-name dies, right?
Yeah.
She fucking brutally dies, too.
Yeah, Burry, I didn't believe it at first.
Yeah, it's insane. I will give him props for that because I like when superhero movies do that.
And I will say, this may be my favorite Spider-Man suit throughout the films.
Okay.
It's very comic accurate, but still looks good on film. I know you have the Redditors who love the Sam Raimi suit, which it's good, but
I just don't like the Raimi trilogy. I'm sorry. I really just don't like Tobey Maguire that much. Not as a person. He's fine as a person. He just doesn't feel like Peter Parker to me. Which gets into our next point, right?
Yep.
Okay. This is the best Spider-Man movie.
Homecoming,
Yeah,
GOAT.
That's a GOAT tier. I'm gonna get back to your point about how you didn't want to see the Sam Raimi Spider-Man because it's perfect. I was obsessed with the MCU by the time Civil War came out. I was so excited for that movie, and then because like sort of last minute, not like completely last minute, but they announced, oh, Spider-Man's gonna be in it, and I was irate. I was like, I do not like the Raimi trilogy. Andrew Garfield was all right. I still didn't really give a shit for that. Why are they putting Spider-Man in my MCU movie? I was so mad. I didn't want anything to do with it. And like you, I went into the theater being like this. I said, I knew the movie was going to be great.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to like Civil War. But I was like, they're going to have some stupid Spider-Man cameo and I'm not going to like it and it's going to suck. And then I watched Civil War and I was like, okay, I kind of like Spider-Man's character. It's fine. We'll give him a chance. And then I watched Spider-Man Homecoming. And number one, I fucking love Tom Holland. Get that out of the way. Second, Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Because he feels like a kid. There's teenagers in this movie. It doesn't feel like adults playing teenagers.
Yeah. Before this movie came out, Andrew Garfield played a better Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire played a better Peter Parker. But again, Tobey Maguire didn't look like a high schooler, college kid. Andrew Garfield could kind of pull it off, but to a certain point.
Like, there's so many scenes in Spider-Man Homecoming where you can feel him just being a teenager. One that comes to mind is when Tony Stark brings the suit out and is yelling at him, and he goes, well, if you really cared, you'd be here. And Tony Stark gets out of the suit, and you see him flinch, like, oh, shit. And it's like, that's just some poor kid getting yelled at. And then another one that comes to mind is... Oh, I had one and I just lost it. When what's his name is driving him to the homecoming dance and he's sitting there in his tux and he's so nervous because he's like, fuck, that's Vulture.
It may be one of my favorite openings too. Of you're that spider guy, right? Do a backflip. Yeah, spider guy.
But I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I'm so glad that Marvel proved me wrong with that one.
Far From Home.
Great movie.
Let me see what's in.
It's better than Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I think it's bottom of great.
Yeah.
A step down, but it still was very enjoyable. And then
Tom Holland was the second person to destroy Jake Gyllenhaal with a bridge after Taylor Swift. That's an original joke I definitely didn't steal from TikTok. Sent out by Swifties.
Spider-Man No Way Home. I think it's also great.
I would almost put that in GOAT tier.
It's
fine if we don't.
I would put it around the same level as Far From Home, just because I feel like it's those fan service glasses on where it's like,
that's true.
All these people, when like rewatching it, I was like, yeah, it's a good movie, but yeah, besides getting that fan service,
I just thought of the ending of that movie and it made me choked up. I don't know if you saw my face there.
No, I saw. Jaylene, we don't need you crying in a ranked video.
I'm surprised that one did it in that end game.
Suicide Squad.
Wow.
Is it worse? Yeah, it's worse than Fan 4 Stick. I mean, they saw Guardians of the Galaxy and went, let me see your homework.
I need to take a minute. I'm so sorry.
All right, this is the Tegan Show now.
Like, that's so stupid. And I'm like, there's definitely more moments that made me emotional in the MCU. And then I started thinking about the scene from Far From Home or No Way Home. Tom Holland just makes me cry. You know what part I'm talking about? Where the fuck's his name? What's his name? John Favreau, whatever character he plays, he's stitching him up, and he goes, "You just have to hold still." And he goes, "No," because I just miss him so much. Please cut all this. Oh my god.
So pathetic.
Fuck. Okay, well, we're done. About
Suicide Squad.
All right, I'm done crying over Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
All right. But
I'm so sorry.
Do we need to pause?
No.
We're almost done.
Fuck, I'm gonna go home and watch Spider-Man. Just cry on my couch.
Suicide Squad. It basically takes all the things from Guardian of the Galaxy and
does it wrong.
Yeah. It's like, oh, they had that soundtrack. We want a soundtrack.
They have a oh my god. The worst thing.
A soundtrack where they were just like, throw this song in, throw this.
So I remember the ads for this, the commercials, it was all Bohemian Rhapsody.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, first off, Freddie Mercury's dead. Don't disgrace him like that.
Yeah.
And then on the soundtrack, it was Panic at the Disco doing the cover of Bohemian Rhapsody. Have you heard that? Don't listen to it. It will ruin Bohemian Rhapsody.
Zack Snyder's Justice League is on here.
Shit, we'll save that for last.
Okay. Yeah, it just does everything wrong. Yeah. It introduces the characters, and that's about the first half of the film.
To God, I can only remember 2 of the characters from that movie.
Yeah, Harley Quinn, Deadshot.
Yeah.
Even the villains are just putty monsters from Power Rangers, pretty much.
See, I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
That could almost be unforgettable, but it's just bad enough.
Yeah. Superman Returns.
Oh, I haven't seen this.
I'll put it at, because it's technically supposed to be a sequel to Christopher Reeve's Superman. So the 70s one.
I can't do this.
Take a minute. Teen Titans Go movie. Haven't seen it.
That's on the
The
list.
show's all right.
Yeah, I think the show gets too much flack.
Yeah. Avengers.
Great.
Too many fucking movies. I think it's bottom of great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's because people weren't sure what to expect from it.
Yeah.
But
I definitely think what we have above it is better. But again, like, it's hard to put a movie like that at the low of a tier.
mm-hmm.
That's fine. But like you said, people weren't sure how that was going to work, and it worked great.
Goat.
Which one is this? The Batman, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Great movie.
I would put it there.
I wouldn't.
Maybe just under Homecoming.
I wouldn't put it there.
Too bad.
I think Infinity War is better than the Batman.
Maybe
this is our personalities coming
Yeah.
through, though, because I really don't give a shit about DC.
And the older I've gotten, I used to hate Superman. I was like, Superman's overpowered, all that stuff. But Batman's always been the one. And this is the first film. I love the Dark Knight trilogy, but this is the first one where I watched. I was like, this is a full-blown Batman movie.
It's great.
The only thing I don't like is that his armor is basically bulletproof, because that kind of takes away from some of the scenes. The scene where he's in the dark and they're all shooting at him, awesome, but it kind of takes away some of that suspense of him still just being a guy.
Yeah, I just love the whole tone of that movie too. It's like,
Yeah.
my grandpa watched that movie and he goes, "It's just too dark." I'm like, that's why it's so good.
See, that was the thing. So many people were like, it's so dark. It's like, it really wasn't. The only times it was dark is when it was supposed to. Is Batman down the hall?
Yeah. My favorite shot of that movie too is like when the car flips and you see him walking. It's like, oh shit! I took a bathroom break right before that scene because they were on the roof right before that. I'm like, this is a good time to like go to the bathroom. And I came back and they're in a car chase. I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, I wasn't gone that long. Honest, that happened when I saw that movie, and I was so mad that I missed that little snippet. I went and saw it a second time just so I couldn't miss any of it.
Yeah.
And I don't see movies in theaters like more than once very often.
And even though it's like a 3-hour movie,
it doesn't feel like
it doesn't.
Yeah, it's like, holy shit. Also, the choice of Something in the Way, perfect.
Dark Knight.
Is this the best one of the trilogy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, we can put that in GOAT tier.
I would put it there.
Okay. That's fine.
Again, I think it's really good. But I feel like these movies are just...
They're a different level.
Yeah. Now, for the time, yes, it was easily...
Changed superhero movies.
Yes. And honestly, it may be the best story overall, but these ones feel more superhero to me.
And also, like, the casting.
Yeah.
Like, R.I.P. Heath Ledger. Probably the best Joker.
And then The Dark Knight Rises. This has Bane in it. I would put this at the top of good.
I think I've seen that one. I trust your opinion.
You know, it was going to be tough following The Dark Knight no matter what, especially after the passing of Heath Ledger. I think it did a good job, but we can't ignore where they are in levels.
Mm-hmm. Dark Knight is just... Well, I haven't seen the other two in the trilogy.
Yeah.
That's got to tell you something. The fuck is this?
The Flash.
Is that like a newer movie?
The Ezra Miller one.
I don't even know what this is.
It came out last year?
Okay, see, don't know.
Yeah.
That's fine. We can put it there. I trust you. This is the Hawk movie I thought we were
Yes.
about. This one I don't hate.
I would put it bottom of average.
That's fine. Yeah. It's all right. It helps set up the MCU.
Yeah.
So
The Incredible Hulk to me is just one of those where I feel it's tough for him to have a solo film.
yeah. I feel like he doesn't translate onto film
Yeah.
as well. Like, he's very much a comic book character.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Lego Batman movie.
This is a great movie.
I'll put it at the bottom of great, but I think it's just one of those movies where I was like, I like the first Lego movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll like this one because it should follow that same thing.
Yeah.
It completely surprised me, and I adored it. It's a fun movie.
I love Calendar Man. It's like, what the fuck is this?
I love the opening because it was showing all these ridiculous villains, and Bird Guy just leans over to me. Are those all real villains? And I just go, yep. Condiment King's a real villain.
There's so many, and that's like most Lego movies.
Yeah.
Like that Lego humor, I just love.
Mhm.
I also love Michael Cera, so anything he's in, I'm
Yeah.
gonna watch. But like one of my favorites is when Robin gets introduced to Batman, and it goes, "My name is whatever, but they call me Dick at school," and he goes, "Yeah, kids can be mean." It's like, oh, such a good movie.
Yeah, I think it did a good job of, cause yeah, that stuff with Batman and Robin, where it's like, oh, he's, yeah, relationship type stuff. It's like, yeah, that's low hanging fruit stuff right there. Where I feel like the Lego Batman movie still had some of that humor, but played it in a more entertaining way.
Also, you know the opening song for that, "I Am the Batman,"
Mhm.
is by Patrick Stump of Fall Out Boy. He just sings it in like a really low register. I'll show it to you because it
All right.
doesn't seem like it should be Patrick Stump. Shout out Patrick Stump. Welcome on the show anytime.
The New Mutants.
What the fuck is this?
I am
You're
not,
just making up movies now.
I'm not. Fox's.
Oh shit, okay.
Or was that Marvel? I don't know. I think,
It had to be Fox, right?
yeah, because it was an X-Men spinoff, The Punisher.
Okay.
This one, I like this movie a lot. Well, not
I
Daredevil.
was like, wait, I thought we just decided that we didn't like Daredevil. Okay.
I would put it there. I understand overall it's probably not the best movie, but it's just one of those for myself, I can't hate it.
Okay. I haven't seen it, so I'm fine with that. Whatever you say.
Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad, I should say, takes everything Suicide Squad did and made it so much better.
You're putting that high. Ooh, okay. I haven't seen it.
I really enjoy it. It's one of those movies I could put on and watch it through a million times. I think James Gunn does a lot of the weird ensemble cast stuff very well.
Yeah.
Especially because he came from Guardians and did that. But he takes those weird characters like Peacemaker. No one knew who the fuck Peacemaker was. Well, he has his own HBO show, which was really good. He took Bloodsport, Ratcatcher 2, Polka Dot Man, who's a joke. But he lets them kind of be jokes and works it into a valid story. Yeah.
Like the movie like that.
I'm
gonna need help with the X-Men movie.
The Wolverine.
I think I've seen this.
A lot of the X-Men movies, to me, kind of blend together, just because it's like, oh, this, Wolverine, save us. But this one, he fights samurais, and that's kind of cool.
Shit.
Thor.
Righty.
Thor, the first one.
Feel fine just putting it forgettable.
Yeah, top of forgettable. The Dark World.
Put that in bad. I don't think it's the worst.
You would put that above the first Thor, though?
See, I'm thinking of forgettable as like its own category.
Okay.
Because I don't think Thor, the first movie, does anything
there.
That atrocious. But it just like doesn't do much.
Yeah.
Where The Dark World is just a bad movie.
Yeah, I would probably put it.
They're both forgettable to be honest, but I think it's worse.
Ragnarok. I used to think this was a great movie. I rewatched it.
It doesn't age very well.
I'm fine either bottom of good or top of average.
Average.
I was surprised how much it fell for me the second watch.
I've been saying that since it came out, and people thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
Because you even told me that.
I was like, it's so good. And
you know what you told me, actually? When I said, oh, it wasn't that good? Rewatch it. And you know what I did? I rewatched it, and I had the same opinion. And we came to the conclusion recently that the only reason that movie got so much hype
Is-
is because the first two Thor movies
are
are
so bad. They're so bad. And then Love and Thunder. Did you watch it?
Yeah, put it in forgettable. I didn't think it was bad. It just I don't like what they did with the characters, and honestly, it wasn't that memorable of a movie.
Yeah. I got my hopes up, and then I was like, they kind of let the director do what he wanted, and he does good.
Are
But
we not saying his name because we don't know how to pronounce it? Because I have a hard time.
yeah,
With his name. I don't want to come across as like ignorant.
yeah,
I do like. I like his style. I don't think
Yeah.
it fits with Thor's character.
I think for this kind of stuff, he needed to be reined in a bit.
He wasn't for Ragnarok or Love and Thunder.
Well, Ragnarok, I feel like he still was a little bit, but Love and Thunder, they just
Did you watch Love and Thunder?
no,
Oh.
not yet. A part of me is like, watch it. Another part's like, you don't need to watch it.
It's the last MCU movie that I felt the need to watch, and that was the one that really solidified like this
Mhm.
isn't for me anymore. And that's fine if people still want to watch it. That's fine.
Both Venom movies are just yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen them.
It's
They're
Sony.
extra points because of Eminem. Venom. No, we get less points for that.
Watchmen. Have you?
No.
This is another Zack Snyder film.
Is this a newer one?
No,
Okay.
it's older. I do enjoy it though.
Where do you think?
I'd probably put it there. But this is more of Zack Snyder's type of characters because they are more of the I wouldn't say bad Justice League, but the ones where it's like, yeah, these superheroes are more violent and
Okay.
aggressive. Like Owlman is the what if Batman would kill type guy. So I feel like it makes sense for Zack Snyder to go for someone like that over Superman or Batman, because he has a better understanding of those characters. So he did well on those. Wonder Woman.
Like this movie, but I haven't seen it since it was in theaters. But I remember really liking
Yeah.
it.
And this could just be because the movies surrounding it,
That could be.
but I would put it in good.
It's one that I didn't expect to like as much as I did.
Yeah. Bottom of good, or do you like? Yeah, you like Age of Ultron more. So
That's my gauge.
1984.
Haven't seen, heard it wasn't that good.
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay. Alrighty.
All right.
Do we want to get Zack Snyder out of the way, or we want to do him last?
Right there.
Okay.
I'll put it above the Justice League, but
Okay.
it wasn't a night and day difference. It was like, yeah, it makes more sense, but I don't need a 4-hour long movie.
Yeah.
All right, now X-Men.
We'll say if they ever did a Russo cut of Infinity War and Endgame, which they said that, they said it would be like
Oh my god.
like a long time, like 6 to 8 hours. That would be sick. I would sit through that.
All right. First X-Men movie.
Which one is that? What happens? Can you give me a synopsis?
God, it's been so long since I've watched this.
Okay, because I know I've seen most of these. I just
The
I
end
can't
fights
tell
on the
them.
Statue of Liberty.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
X2 is better.
This one I don't think I've seen.
I would put it right there.
Okay.
That one is when William Stryker goes to the mansion and kidnaps all those kids.
I don't think I've seen that.
The Last Stand.
This one I remember.
It's
I
bad.
think. Yeah, okay, that's the bad one.
Yeah.
I've seen that. All right, that's fine.
Origins Wolverine. It's just as bad.
Okay, I think I've seen that one.
It's the one where they were like, we'll keep making X-Men movies, but do origins on a lot of characters. So they had this one. They had X-Men Origins Magneto lined up, I believe, and then X-Men Origins Gambit. those may have all just been discussions. But then this one did so bad, they're like, all right, we're just going back to X-Men movies. First Class.
I liked
I,
First Class.
I liked it too. One, it got rid of the leather suits. Well, the black leather, and had more of the X-Men blue and yellow, which I liked. One thing I did not like, though, is there's a character whose ability is to adapt and survive, and he fucking dies in the movie. It's like he is supposed to be able to.
I don't remember this.
He is able to adapt his cells and body to survive anything.
Oh, yeah.
And then he just dies.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Real good at those superpowers, my guy.
Days of Future Past. I heard this one's good.
I like this one.
Did you like it more than First Class?
Because this is the one where they're like younger, right?
They travel in Wolverine. Yes.
Yeah, I really like this movie actually more than I think I like it more than it's actually good, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just one I like to watch. I also love the younger cast for Charles Xavier and Magneto. I think they do a really good job.
Yeah.
So I like seeing them. And obviously, I just like watching Hugh Jackman do anything. So.
And then X-Men Apocalypse.
I did not like this movie.
God, it's so bad. Actually,
right.
It may be my least favorite superhero film.
Shit, okay. It's a hot take.
Because it was so boring.
It was boring. It was one that we saw in theaters, and I was like ready to go.
I remember talking to a friend who didn't see the movie yet, and I was like, yeah, it was bad. I don't recommend seeing it. And he goes, I'm going to see it anyway. And I went, all right.
It wasn't even like bad, like fun to watch bad. It was just bad.
Yeah, it was, like you said, just bad. But here is our...
Is there anything that sticks out that you need to move?
No.
Besides Age of Ultron, that's not moving.
Let's see. Actually, yeah. There we go.
Move it back up.
This is our final tier list.
Come back up. Fuck you. That's
fine. There.
Fuck Josh Whedon though. He sucks as a person.
There we go.
You just put it in great.
Thank you.
You could put it in great. That's fine.
Here's our final rankings. GOAT status, great status, and good status. I'll put these all up on screen for y'all. Average and forgettable. A lot of forgettable.
You know.
A lot of average.
A lot of bad.
A lot of bad. And I'm glad we didn't put a lot in the worst.
Yeah, I thought that would be bigger, like more in that category than what there was.
And then
Haven't Seen isn't that bad either.
No, some of these like Teen Titans Go. Should that really be on here?
Yeah.
And then others like Wakanda Forever and Guardians 3 and Across the Spider-Verse are on my to watch list.
I say we should actually watch those.
Yes.
Very soon.
But thank you all for watching.
Thank you.
Be sure to like, subscribe. Let us know what your favorite Marvel and or DC movie is.
Let us know if you are subscribed just talking about the Spider-Man movies.
Also, let us know how bad Age of Ultron really is, because it sucks.
It doesn't suck.
Bye, everybody.
It's